super crunchy, just sweet enough. I'm excited about this one. This one's going in my yogurt bowl tonight. One thing I absolutely love, but it's super calorically dense, so it's really hard to find a good version that you can have a lot of and not blow your calorie goal, is granola. So I found this granola, and this is great. It does have protein added, and it's decent calories and macros, but still, you can only have a little bit before it gets a little out of control. So I have created a Fit Foodie Chicks protein granola that is, let's see, one serving of this is 260 calories and 16 grams of protein. Our version for the same amount is 181 calories and 14 grams of protein. So a lot lower in calories and super easy to throw together. Okay, the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 325 degrees. All right, so we're going to add all of the dry ingredients in a bowl first, and we're just going to throw this right on top of the food scale. So there's no need to dirty any measuring cups or anything like that. We're just going to throw it all in the bowl. So the first thing we're going to do is 1.5 cups of oats. So that should be about 120 grams. Almost there. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to grab all brand cereal. I have to admit, I've never had this cereal before. I bought it just for this recipe, but I did try a little, and it's actually really good. So we're going to go 1/2 cup of brand cereal. I like these little all brand buds because they're tiny, but you could use any brand cereal. 45 grams. All right, and then grape nuts. When's the last time you had a bowl of grape nuts? For me, it's probably been 35 years at least. I know Coach Jackie used to love grape nuts with a whole ton of sugar poured on top when she was little. How the times have changed. Perfect. How do you close up your cereal bags? Do you actually like seal them? Do you roll them? Or you do what my son does and just shove it in there and hope for the best? Let me know in the comments. All right, we're gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we get that sweet and salty. And that's all the dry ingredients. So we're just gonna give these a little stir and then we'll do the wet ingredients. Just so those are nice and combined and the cinnamon gets dispersed. It smells good already. All right, set that aside. And now we'll do the wet ingredients. So in another bowl, we're gonna do 1/2 cup of liquid egg whites. I mean, why do they have to specify liquid egg whites? Aren't they all liquid? I guess you can get powdered egg whites. Okay, and we're gonna do a teaspoon of vanilla. Yes, I like to use vanilla paste sometimes. It just adds a little extra depth of flavor. Plus, I don't have any extract right now. And 1/4 cup of your favorite 0-calorie sugar substitute, about 50 grams. Technically, this isn't a liquid ingredient, but it's going to be dissolved into the liquid. All right, we're gonna whisk all of this together just until that sweetener dissolves and everything is combined. Okay, so now we have our dry and our wet. Okay, now we're just gonna pour the wet ingredients right into the dry ingredients and then stir to coat. And you just wanna stir this really good so that all of the ingredients are coated in that egg white mixture. And it should start to kind of clump together. This is kind of how I make my candied pecans. And now my brain's kind of going a million miles a minute thinking of all the other things we could candy. Oh, you know what I forgot? The protein powder. That should have been added into the dry ingredients before, but that's okay, we'll add it now. So this is just 60 grams of vanilla protein powder. If you have cinnamon protein powder, that would also work really well. Hopefully now I can get it combined since I forgot to add it before. See, Jackie's not the only one that makes mistakes in the kitchen. All right, that worked. Let's get that nice and combined. All right, so you've got this really sticky, clumpy mixture. And we're going to now spread that out on a baking sheet that I've lined with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can just lightly spray it with cooking oil, but parchment paper costs a little bit extra, but it's so worth it for the cleanup. So we're just gonna dump this and spread it out on the baking sheet. Get it all. You want it to be fairly thin, a fairly thin layer, so that it gets really crunchy. Because good granola is nice and crunchy. Now, once you get it all there, wet your fingers just a little bit and just give it a little bit of a press so it's kind of all stuck together. But you want to wet your fingers because otherwise it's just going to stick to your fingers. Okay, ready to go in the oven. All right, we're going to throw this in the oven for 20 minutes. Then we're going to stir it, redisperse it, and throw it back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes until it's done. Okay, we're going to grab it out of the oven, stir it up, and throw it right back in. All right, so it's already looking nice and toasty, so I'm just going to break it up as best I can here and then redistribute it. Okay, we're gonna throw this back in. I think it might only take about 10 minutes. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna check it after 10 and see how we're doing. All right, we've pulled it out of the oven. It's nice and toasty, so you wanna make sure that it's dry and golden brown. And we're gonna let it cool fully, completely, until you do the final step of breaking it up into little chunks. So I'm just gonna take it off the sheet pan so it can cool off a little faster. Think I can do this? Do you hear that crunch? It's not even cooled off yet. Okay, so it's completely cooled and I've broken it up into smaller pieces. You can just break it up into as smaller pieces as you want. I like it kind of chunky, so I left it a little big. Now it's time to taste. Let's see how crunchy it is. Super crunchy, just sweet enough. I'm excited about this one. This one's going in my yogurt bowl tonight. And our granola is 30% less calories with just about the same amount of protein. And this is 30% less calories than my favorite store-bought brand of protein granola. So you can eat more of what you love.
Want this recipe and over 250 more just like it? Grab them all in our app with the monthly meal plan recipe subscription at fitfoodiechicks.com/food.
And don't forget to grab your free Ultimate 10 ebook with our top 10 viral breakfast, lunch, treat, and snack recipes that broke the internet. Get it at fitfoodiechicks.com/ebook or in the link in our bio or the description of this video.